Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
October 8th, 2009, deep in the Ouachita Mountains of Oklahoma, a white pickup truck sits abandoned on a remote dirt road. When investigators look inside, they find something strange. Wallets, cell phones, jackets, a GPS, and $32,000 in cash, untouched, still sitting inside the vehicle. But the people who own the truck are nowhere to be found. Bobby Jamison, his wife Sherilynn, and their 6-year-old daughter, Madyson, all gone. Then officers noticed something else inside the truck. Their dog Maisy is still alive, locked inside, starving, and barely clinging to life. Which means the vehicle had been sitting there for days. When investigators searched the Jamison home, they discovered something even more disturbing. Security footage. 30 minutes of Bobby and Sherilynn silently moving back and forth between their house and truck. Barely speaking, moving slowly, almost mechanically, as if something was wrong. Then 4 years later, a hunter walking through the woods makes a discovery. 3 skeletons, lying together, nearly 3 miles from where the truck was found.
This is episode 48, The Jamison Family Disappearance. A case filled with paranoia, bizarre clues, and a mystery investigators still cannot explain.
Welcome back to Veil of Echoes, the podcast where true crime meets the unexplained, and where some stories leave behind more questions than answers.
Each week, we step into cases that unsettle us. Disappearances, crimes, and moments where reality seems to blur with something harder to explain.
We examine the timeline, the evidence, the psychology behind the people involved, and the details that still linger long after the headlines fade.
We're your host. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Before we begin, this episode discusses the disappearance and death of a family, including a young child. Some details may be difficult to hear. Please listen with care.
And before we step into tonight's case, we want to ask for something small that truly helps independent shows like ours.
If you've been listening to Veil of Echoes, whether it's your first episode or your 48th, your rating genuinely matters.
We're an independent podcast. No network, no corporate backing. Just the 3 of us, and you. And reviews are what help make stories like this reach more listeners.
So, if the show has ever stayed with you, or if an episode made you think differently about a case, please consider leaving a rating or a written review on Apple or Spotify.
It takes less than a minute, but it helps more than you know.
And we're grateful you're here.
To understand what happened to the Jamison family, we have to begin before the mountains, before the abandoned truck, and before the mystery began. In 2009, Bobby and Sherilynn Jamison lived in the small town of Eufaula, Oklahoma, a quiet community surrounded by wooded hills and the shoreline of Lake Eufaula. It's the kind of place where people wave as they drive past each other, where neighbors recognize the same truck parked in the same driveways every day, and where serious crime is rare.
Bobby Jamison was 44 years old. Several years earlier, he had been involved in a serious car accident that left him with chronic back pain. The injuries were severe enough that Bobby was receiving disability benefits and was unable to maintain regular work. Friends described him as quiet, sometimes withdrawn, but devoted to his family.
His wife, Sherilynn Jamison, was 40 years old. She was known for being outspoken and protective, especially when it came to their daughter, 6-year-old Madyson Jamison.
Madyson was the center of their world. Neighbors remembered seeing her outside playing in the yard, riding her bike, running around with the family dog, a small white dog named Maisy.
Like many families, the Jamisons had their struggles. Money was tight, medical bills and Bobby's disability created constant financial pressure. But friends said the couple seemed focused on building a better future.
And in the months leading up to October 2009, they began talking about a fresh start. The Jamisons had been looking at land in the mountains, property deep in the wooded areas of southeastern Oklahoma. They hoped to buy the land and eventually build a home there, somewhere quiet, somewhere secluded, and somewhere they could start over.
But people close to the family had also noticed something else in the weeks leading up to their disappearance. Sherilynn had begun expressing concerns that someone was watching them. She told people strange things were happening around their home, and according to reports later uncovered by investigators, she believed their house might even been haunted.
Sherilynn also kept a handwritten notebook. Inside were pages of notes, some of them cryptic, some of them angry. One entry in particular would later stand out to investigators. A long, emotional letter directed at Bobby, filled with frustration and resentment.
Despite all of this, the family still made plans to travel into the mountains on October 8, 2009. They told friends they were going to look at a piece of land near the small community of Red Oak, Oklahoma, a remote area surrounded by dense forest and rugged hills. It was supposed to be a simple trip, just a drive to see the property. Then they would return home.
But the Jamison family never came back.
4 days later, a hunter traveling along a remote mountain road would make a discovery that would launch one of Oklahoma's most unsettling mysteries.
So looking at everything leading up to this trip, the financial stress, Sherilynn's reported paranoia, and their sudden interest in land deep in the mountains, do you think they truly went out there to just look at property, or do you think something else might have been happening?
Murder-suicide.
There was something else going on.
Sherilynn was a freak. She killed her son, she killed her husband, killed her daughter, killed herself. She was way too paranoid for somebody that was... I mean, everybody goes through those struggles, but it seems like maybe something else is going on with her.
Yeah. I know, and there was a photo, I think it was on one of their phones, of like little Madyson. It looked like they took that picture there of her, but she...
In the woods.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
But it
almost as like a last type of memory of what she actually looked like before.
Something read about that.
Yeah, it's a photo. I don't know.
It's an eerie memorial.
This one.
Yep, I've seen that.
This one. Let's see. I don't know if you could. She kind of looks distressed. I don't know if she. I mean, I don't know if she looks distressed.
She kind of looks like she's trying to tell her parents something like she doesn't like.
Yeah.
What's going on?
She don't look. Yeah. I know that was a famous photo of the case, but I don't know, it's a weird. It's weird. I don't know.
It's just strange in general. Like, I don't know, just out of nowhere, they decided that they wanted to start a new life by building somewhere when they're already in financial issues. Like, where are you going to have the money to build a new home?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going in a pretty remotely recluded place.
Yeah.
I mean, you already said it's
Giving me Amityville
remote.
vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the poor dog.
'Cause
Like, why'd
they
you
were
have to,
also-
like, you couldn't have asked a family member, hey, take this dog while we go check this out.
Yeah, that's what I care about is the dog.
That's another thing that makes me think, like I was just joking when I said that she killed her family. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But them taking the dog with them, but not taking him out of the car, feels to me like they were planning on returning.
Yes, but then
or
there
at
was...
least someone was planning on returning.
It's a mystery, because with that much cash, though, that was untouched.
$32,000 in
It's
cash.
untouched. So if you think... I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, so somebody withdrew the only stuff they had left. Because, I mean, there was bank accounts, so it's not like they had to have $32 in cash on them, unless he was using that to purchase the property.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, whoever was selling the property would have took them out. You believe he would have waited till he got the cash first.
Well, and it's not really weird, but there's a lot of people out there that believe they'll hurt a human before they would an animal.
True.
There's a lot of people. And, I mean, in this case, I don't think it would apply just because the dog was locked in the vehicle. Mm-hmm. But that's what it almost feels like.
Yeah, and it was in a starving condition, not really a beaten condition.
It wasn't abused. It wasn't, It
was just...
And if
unfortunately...
and I mean, honestly, if you go into some prisons, it's been reported that there's murderers in there that have been housed with animal abusers, and they kill the animal abuser because they believe that the animal was innocent, but they killed a person. I'm like, that's justice. I'm sorry, to me that's justice.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what I think of in this is maybe something did happen and the person just
Is that the dog?
overlooked the dog.
Probably.
And just
it was
thought,
a white dog. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if they were murdered, more than likely the dog probably would have been killed too, which makes me think of murder-suicide.
That's the cash being left behind is what makes me think of it, because if it was like a robbery murder, then there would not be $32,000 there, maybe a few thousand to be like, that's all they had on them, but you didn't take any of the money. The vehicle was left untouched. The dog was inside.
Their cell phone, everything was inside.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, so it seems to me they went to check out the property. Probably had that money on them to purchase it, because, I mean, it was the 90s, so $32,000 could have brought... 2000s? So, yeah, still then, they could have bought a decent amount for $32,000.
Yep.
It was 2009.
2000, so, yeah, they're not even 20 years ago. So, yeah. It just... In my opinion, everything's leading up to the mother or the father.
Yeah.
Because of all the evidence that where we stand with what we've gone over so far. They left. Weeks leading up to that, she was having paranoid episodes talking about someone's watching her. She thinks her house is haunted.
Yes,
so she went from a whole, I'm being watched by an actual person, to now my house is haunted.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, she's a 40-year-old woman.
Paranoid.
So, I mean, we all seen how stressed, especially with, like, the Amityville horror situation, or the Bell Witch, or the Bill Wilkins, what is that, the Enfield haunting, like, poor families in distress usually seem to be the target, like,
right.
When you're at your most vulnerable point, you think everything's about to be taken from you.
Yep. The money not being touched and stuff like that, it just makes me think of murder-suicide.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and something about this picture right here tells me, like, just by her facial expressions and the way her arms are crossed, she looks like she's about to start crying, like...
Yeah, she just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah, she looks distressed. She doesn't, like, she's... in the other photo, she was smiling. She was holding the dog like she was photogenic. She was ready. Like, this is not a child that wanted to have a picture taken of him. This was a child that was forced to be photographed.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes me think of why they took the picture is so that they could remember what she looked like.
Right.
And that's another reason I feel
Before
like
she was
someone
found
planned
dead.
it on leaving. Like, someone planned it on not being the last one out of there, but somewhere along the line something happened and they all ended up dead.
Yeah.
But with where we are right now, we don't have any autopsy reports. We don't have any conditions of the skeletons. We just know he found 3 skeletons right next to each other within the
No.
same fucking
And
area.
what's even worse is you see this happen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, either dad or mom has, you know, a mental break, ends up murdering significant other and kid, even though the kid's their whole world, because they believe, well, if I kill my kid and I kill myself, I'm still going to be with my kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be with your
Delusion.
kid, but, you know, you really don't know that until you meet judgment.
Exactly.
Like, so,
yeah.
I mean, I see what they probably did there, because a lot of the times, like, a mom or a dad will say, well, my kid can't live without me, and I can't live without my kid,
Right.
so...
And it's Oklahoma. They're small communities. They're majority of religious folks, you know? Like, it's not... Even in Guthrie, we only had 10,000 people, and, like, 9,000 of those people were religious.
Well, and some people, like, take the religious thing into view, and they go to the extreme with it.
Oh, yeah.
And they drink the Kool-Aid.
If you ever watch, like some pastors that are like, I'm all about, you know, God and stuff, but look at the shit that you've done.
Oh, I know.
Like,
Crazy.
you should not be considered a priest anymore.
No, not at all.
Like, even when I watch videos of, you know, these pastors that have been convicted of murder and stuff like that, and they still call them pastors, I'm like, no, they're not a pastor. You take that out and you call them what they are. They're a despicable human being for doing what they did. And to do it dressed as somebody from a church that
it's like they're hiding behind.
you believe in, like, that's just, when you go to report on that, you do not use a minister or a pastor. You say, this piece of shit.
Right.
Because at that point in time, I don't give 2 fucks if you worship Satan, if you worship Buddha, or whoever you worship. But if you're gonna do it while you're dressed and pretend that you're a pastor, you don't deserve that title.
No.
You don't deserve any of that.
Yeah.
You just need to be called a disgusting piece of shit who literally, like, your cults that you have, who are so extreme that it embeds in your brain and you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's extreme Christians, there are extreme Catholics. But it's like, okay, at some point, gotta take religion out of the picture here.
Yeah, exactly.
What investigators would soon discover inside the Jamison's family truck would make this case even more disturbing.
Because the truck wasn't just abandoned, it was left behind with everything the family would have needed to survive. Everything, except the family themselves.
On October 12, 2009, 4 days after the Jamison family was last seen, a hunter was driving along the remote dirt road in the deep Ouachita Mountains near Red Oak, Oklahoma. The road was narrow, surrounded by thick woods and steep hills, and as he was rounding one of the curves, he noticed something sitting along the side of the road.
A white pickup truck, parked off to the side of the dirt road. At first glance, it didn't seem completely unusual. Hunters and hikers often parked vehicles in remote areas like this. But something about the truck seemed strange. It looked like they had been sitting there for some time.
When authorities arrived and ran the license plate, they confirmed the vehicle belonged to Bobby and Sherilynn Jamison, the same family that had been reported missing days earlier.
Inside the truck, investigators found the Jamisons' belongings. Their wallets, their cell phones, their identification, their GPS device, Sherilynn's purse, everything the family would normally take with them, all still inside the vehicle.
Then, officers discovered something even more puzzling. Inside a bag in the truck, they found $32,000 in cash.
$32,000, untouched, still sitting inside the vehicle.
For investigators, that detail raised immediate questions, because in many missing persons cases, money disappears first. But in this case, the cash had been left behind.
Then, officers heard a faint sound coming from inside the truck. A small dog. The Jamison's family dog, Maisy.
Maisy had been left inside the vehicle. By the time she was discovered, she was severely dehydrated, weak, and barely able to stand. Investigators later said the dog likely survived only because the truck's windows had been left partially open.
The discovery suggested something troubling. The discovery suggested something troubling. If the Jamison family had planned to leave the truck, they almost certainly would have taken the dog with them.
Investigators also noticed something else. The truck doors were unlocked. The keys were still inside, and there was no signs of a struggle.
It was as if the Jamison family had simply stepped away from the vehicle and never came back.
There was another detail investigators quickly realized. According to family members, when the Jamisons left their home that day, Bobby had been carrying a brown suitcase.
When police searched the truck, that suitcase was not there.
Investigators also learned that Bobby's handgun was missing. The gun had reportedly been with the family when they left for the trip. But when police searched the truck and the surrounding area, the weapon was nowhere to be found.
To this day, neither the brown suitcase nor Bobby Jamison's gun has ever been recovered.
Search teams quickly began combing the surrounding mountains, looking for any signs of the family. Footprints, clothing, anything that might explain where they had gone.
But the deeper investigators looked into the Jamison case, the stranger it became. Because when detectives reviewed footage from the Jamison home security camera, they discovered something deeply unsettling.
30 minutes of footage showing Bobby and Sherilynn moving in and out of their house, loading items into the truck.
Barely speaking, moving slowly, almost as if they were in a trance.
And whatever happened to the Jamison family, something about their final hours already seemed very wrong.
When you hear about that scene, the money left behind, their phone still in the truck, their dog barely alive, and now a missing suitcase and gun, what stands out to you the most about that discovery? And what part of that scene feels the most unusual to you?
The money.
That and the missing suitcase and gun. What was in that suitcase?
The gun.
Dead body.
Yeah, and they never found either one.
Yeah,
To me, part of me seems like it was was it planned? Just because, I don't know.
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
But then the poor dog, but then, they said family members said they wouldn't leave their dog like that either. But if she was in a paranoia state.
You gotta think of people who go in manic episodes.
Right.
Sometimes they're not
Right.
who they are. They're a complete
Yeah.
different person, because you do have that dissociative, personality
Exactly.
disorder.
Yeah.
And you never know, maybe she had that undiagnosed.
Right.
Or even he did, because of how he was withdrawn.
Yeah.
You never really know. You can know somebody so incredibly well, but the amount of people that can hide things from you, that's...
Right.
Like me, I can hide my anger very, very well. Except for when I'm in a car. If you're in a car with me and you I'm bad with the anger and the road rage.
Yeah.
Bad.
Right.
But if you would just talk to me, sit one-on-one, you wouldn't know that.
Right.
You wouldn't know that I scream and holler at people in my car when they cut me off because they're bastards.
I mean, I do the same, so.
I mean, I scream. I get pissed. And I get aggressive with my driving.
Oh, is that video, I guess?
Oh, they are kind of walking.
They're not really speaking to each other.
Yeah, they're just back and forth and back and forth.
Huh. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can't really get much without audio.
Right. Huh. Scary. I'm just glad the dog was found.
You have no idea how happy I was.
Poor dog.
Yeah, lucky baby.
Our listeners are gonna be like, what the fuck about the child?
At least the dog was found. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened, with it, but the dog. I'm just glad the dog was found in time before.
It's gonna sound weird, but
Yeah.
I'm glad the dog was found before it died because it sounded like it was suffering.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas the family, depending on what actually happened, it was.
But then it makes me realize if the windows were cracked, if you were just looking, why would you know what I mean? Like maybe
I think there was something wrong with him or her mentally. Especially because she was super protective of her daughter. A lot of parents that are like that, they go overboard with it.
Oh yeah.
And look at what happens sometimes.
I don't know.
Like, that's just what makes me think. Like, it. When I heard that the dog was clinging on to life,
Right.
that hurt me more because it was trying to figure out, why aren't my owners coming back for me?
Yeah, it's the puppy.
Why aren't they coming for me? Why am I not being fed?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Aw.
that's what I think of.
And the truck was unlocked, too.
Yeah. That's what I think of. And then it makes me think almost kind of like they spared the dog.
I'm telling you, if that's the area, then of course you're not going to get found.
Jesus.
Have fun with that. It's like picking a fucking needle out of a haystack.
Yeah.
You don't. It was such a boring fucking state to drive through. Everything.
Was that the truck, I guess?
Yeah.
Good old GMC.
Damn.
There's those bands.
I mean, I'm sorry, but if it was me, I would have been taking the money. $32,000? Alright.
Yeah. That's a huge damn.
Yeah, because that's like right where it splits
So
the desert
was
half.
that where they were looking to buy land?
Yeah, because in Oklahoma, like right when you split, right in the middle of the state, it starts to split. You have the timber, and then you have the desert portion that starts going towards the west. And that was right at there. They probably still had 3 or 4 miles.
If you think about it, with that, how dense that forest is, why would you want to build a home in that dense of a forest?
I mean, that's one of the main reasons, like, the farthest I'd want to be out of the city is maybe a half hour.
Yeah.
Because even driving like I do, it takes like 15 minutes to get up there.
Like, to me, that's another, like, red flag. Why are we wanting to find property in the middle of nowhere?
All of a sudden.
Dense
Especially with what you said. We already have no money. We're broke. And then we're going to put our last $32,000 on a house? So what was your plans after that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean,
That's the property. That's not even a home.
And you got to think about it. After 2008, when we were in the recession in 2008, how was there any way that somebody was going to take $32,000 and build a home?
That right there brings more into it. Because like she said, we were in the recession. This was 2009. So they were right in the beginning of everything going down. He probably thought he was going to sell the house they live in, and that was going to help pay for the property, because he was just buying property. You're telling me that $32,000, you planned on buying that property, clearing it all out, getting your house built, and your road put down? Who the fuck are you hiring? Bob the Builder?
Yeah, and there was no signs of them putting their house up on the market anytime soon. It was just talked about them going and looking for property. But why would you go and look at property in a extremely dense forest area?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't say anything like
nowhere.
Doesn't say anything about him being an active hunter.
No.
Doesn't say nothing about him being a fisherman. It's not a lake. Like, from the pictures we just seen, I didn't see any water.
No.
There could have been small ponds and puddles and shit, but...
Like, I do know that there's people out there that like to live, you know, way off the grid, and they don't like to be surrounded by, you know, urban development and stuff like that. But this, to me, how they just up and out of nowhere decided, we're gonna go look at some property from somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right after the recession, when nobody had money.
Yeah, and they still didn't even have money. You're living off of your disability.
Yeah.
It doesn't say anything about what she did for a living.
Exactly.
So, to me, it seems like he was the only one bringing money in.
Well, yeah.
They had how many vehicles? A boat? They had stuff in their yard besides just that truck, unless that was someone else's vehicles.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say anything about they were having visitations. It doesn't say anything about anyone else in the house. It says they just started packing up.
Well...
And they didn't even have the property purchased yet. So what are you packing up for?
And I'm just looking at this picture. The mom, her smile seems a little forced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks a little more happy.
He looks more happy. Hers is kind of like, I'm forced to be here and I'm fucking tired of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, just from her, her descriptions in her, what was it, her diary? Mm-hmm. How she was holding resentment against him.
Yeah. There's other
it
clues.
seems like that note was a we're done note, and he never received it because...
Right.
Because
the activities that followed.
But I mean, seriously, like, if you look at the picture and look at her face, she looks like she's forcing the smile. Like, she can barely even... It's like one of those, like, okay, let's take a picture, get it done and over with.
Yeah.
Don't want to show that we're an actual family. Let's get this done.
Right. Yeah.
Investigators would later say that behavior appeared unusual. Almost as if the couple seemed disoriented or distracted. Some even describe their movements as almost trance-like.
At one point, Bobby is seen walking towards the truck, standing still, and staring off into the distance for several seconds, as if he was watching something or thinking about something.
But investigators never determined what that might have been. And the footage raises another question, because despite the amount of time they spent loading the truck, they didn't appear to load very much. Just a few items. Nothing that suggested a family planning to move, or even stay overnight in the mountains.
When detectives searched inside the Jamison home, they discovered more troubling details. Sherilynn had reportedly been experiencing growing paranoia in the months leading up to the disappearance. She told people she believed someone was watching them.
Investigators also discovered a handwritten letter inside the house, an emotional note written by Sherilynn directed at Bobby. The letter reportedly expressed deep frustration with her husband and described feelings of resentment.
Police also found a notebook containing strange entries, pages filled with numbers, sequences that didn't seem to form obvious patterns. Investigators were never able to determine what the numbers meant, or if they meant anything at all.
All of these details begin painting a complete picture of the Jamison family's final days. Financial stress, relationship tensions, reports of paranoia, and now, strange behavior caught on camera.
But investigators still had no explanation for one crucial question. If the Jamison family had willingly left their truck, where did they go? So when you hear about the security footage, what stands out to you the most? Do you think their behavior suggests they were scared of something? Or does it seem more like something else may have been going on behind the scenes?
Both? Well, if she's paranoid, she's gonna be scared of something. But obviously there's something else going behind the scenes.
I really think her paranoia was catching up to her.
Because she was seeing stuff
I'm just
seeing
saying,
stuff,
if
hearing
saying
things.
the house was haunted. And then I read also.
Well, and the numbers, repeatedly writing numbers down.
It says
random patterns, not even a pattern, they say. Frantic.
the Jamisons had reportedly told their local pastor Gary Brandon on separate occasions that they had seen spirits inside their home and that Bobby had allegedly claimed to have been reading the Satanic Bible.
Well, and what's funny is if you actually look into the Satanism, all it is following yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you don't follow any type of deity, you don't follow God, you follow your own structural rules.
Yeah.
It's not even like you're actually, praising Satan or anything like that. You do have your satanics who do believe in that, but then there's also the Satanism where you follow your own set of laws. You don't follow the set of laws that God has put down, like the 10 Commandments and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You just follow yourself and what you feel.
Right is right.
It's the ideology of true rebellion.
Yes.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe he was having a whole midlife crisis and wanting to change his life.
But to me, though, with the paranoia, that would be the biggest red flag.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, anybody who's had paranoia, you know what your mind can do to you.
And then it says, what were they both having these?
I think it was mostly her.
Yeah,
That's what it seems like.
Because I mean,
but then it shows like in the video of him just standing there trance-like.
Yeah, thinking about looking at something. They say that it seems like he was either watching or thinking. It's like,
and it took 30
maybe
minutes of them doing this, but not even taking that much to the truck.
well, yeah,
To
with
me, it
everything
almost-
I found in the vehicle is 5 minutes worth of loading.
it almost seems like he was probably rethinking something.
Yeah.
that was going on.
Right,
like
especially
rethinking.
If she was having resentment towards
Yeah,
him,
Yeah.
she
'cause
was
the
obvious.
stop
They probably were
mid-stride.
fighting.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It's like if you're having financial issues,
That'll
that's
add
why you
to
should
it.
both have a job.
I
There's
mean,
no reason anyone should be sitting at home while the other person's out there working, especially if you're broke.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, to me, the biggest thing is the paranoia. That's just what stands out to me the most, because, what if, even though she loved her daughter so much, what if the paranoia was getting to her so much that she thought something was going on with her husband and her daughter, and that was the only way out,
Exactly.
was a bullet.
Well,
Well, that and what was in that brown suitcase, and then they seen him bring out the gun was gone. And
I'm thinking from a standpoint, they're a religious family, and her husband brings home and starts reading a satanic Bible. And in Christianity, that is the biggest form of evil.
It was the slap in the face of Christianity, basically.
So, it seems her paranoia might be related to her thinking that her husband is starting to worship the devil, that he's probably thinking of doing some stuff that she don't want no part of.
right.
And she thought, what better way to do it than end all of us.
Especially in a manic episode, like...
But then, like you said, like the Satanic Bible doesn't sound like it's. I think it sounds.
It's really...
It's like a self-help
Sounds
book.
something like I would read.
It's pretty much...
Well, I'm not like trying to better your, to do you pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm. And they don't like that. They want conformity, so they have control so that they get paid. And if you're taking care of yourself, then you're not going to seek religion for those benefits that they make you believe you get.
So this is literally the definition of Satanism. Satanism is a diverse, mostly non-theistic belief system focusing on individualism, secular humanism, and skepticism, rather than the worship of a literal devil.
See, I could go by that.
So it's, and I mean, honestly, that's kind of how I am. I don't...
Yeah.
I know what I pray to, and...
Well, that, and as long as you're a decent dude, you're a decent person.
Exactly. That's all that matters
cause harm
to me. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I would relate to that because I worship no deities, I follow no religion, and I do my own thing, and I consider myself a good person because I don't have thoughts of harming people. I don't
think you should have to follow religion to be a good person.
As investigators searched the mountains surrounding the abandoned truck, they began exploring possible explanations.
But every theory seemed to create more questions than answers.
After discovering the Jamison family's abandoned truck, search teams began combing the rugged terrain of the Ouachita Mountains. The area surrounding the truck was dense. Thick woods, steep hills, and miles of remote wilderness.
Search teams used helicopters, tracking dogs, and dozens of volunteers. They searched the surrounding forest for days, looking for anything that might lead them to Bobby, Sherilynn, and Madyson.
It really is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I mean, they don't ever think to go miles out of the searching distance.
They literally tape it off at like a 50-mile radius, and it's like, you can't do that. Like, I understand there's a reason why they have it like that, but it's like, now you need to expand those search efforts to, at least 200 to 300.
But despite the massive search effort, investigators found nothing. No clothing, no footprints, and no signs of a struggle. And no clear indication of where the family might have gone.
As time passed, investigators began exploring possible explanations.
One possibility was foul play. The Jamison family may have met someone in the mountains, possibly someone connected to the property they were planning to view. But investigators never found evidence that anyone else had been present at the scene.
Another theory involved possible drug activity. At the time, some investigators speculated that Bobby may have been connected to local drug users. Some reports suggested the couple might have gone into the mountains to meet someone. However, no evidence ever confirmed that theory.
I mean, $32,000 in cash could be quite enough to pay off a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Especially if you're falling behind and he's probably getting like
pissed off. Like,
prescription pills and shit for his
I can see that, but then
back
again,
pain.
the money was untouched.
your tab's starting to rack up.
Yeah.
That's the only issue is like, whatever happened, it was not for cash.
Yeah. If it was a drug deal that would have went bad, they would have taken that money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, everything was just too neatly left for it to be that kind of meetup.
Yeah.
Yep.
Investigators also consider the possibility of conflict within the family. Sherilynn's handwritten letter expressing anger toward Bobby raised questions about the couple's relationship. But again, there was no evidence that either parent had harmed the other or their daughter.
Another theory was that the Jamisons may have left the truck voluntarily and simply became lost in the rugged terrain. The Ouachita Mountains can be difficult to navigate, especially for people unfamiliar with the area. But even that explanation raises questions, because search teams found no trail leading away from the truck.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, I didn't even think,
Yeah.
sitting here and not even thinking about that whole possibility. They're
Which is
walking through
true.
trees, there's leaves,
And again,
there's
like
sticks, there's
they'll be
brush.
turning around. And,
There's no disturbed track or trail leading to them.
I mean,
Yeah.
Would you guys float into the woods?
I can see that. As months turned into years, the Jamison family case slowly grew colder. The abandoned truck remained one of the only physical clues, and investigators were left with more questions than answers.
Then, 4 years later, a hunter walking through the woods made a discovery.
In November of 2013, a group of hunters exploring the forest near where the truck had been discovered found human remains. 3 sets of skeletal remains.
They were lying close together, in a remote area of the woods, roughly 3 miles from where the Jamison family truck had been found.
Investigators soon confirmed the remains belonged to Bobby Jamison, Sherilynn Jamison, and their 6-year-old daughter, Madyson.
But even with this discovery, the mystery did not end, because the remains had been exposed to the elements for years. They were too decomposed for investigators to determine a cause of death.
Which meant even after the Jamison family was finally found, no one could say exactly how they died.
And perhaps the most haunting detail of all,
investigators still couldn't explain how the family ended up 3 miles from their truck.
So after hearing all of this, the abandoned truck, the strange security footage, the money left behind, and the family letter later, and the family later found miles away in the woods, what theory makes the most sense to you?
2 things to me. One, either, and not saying she did it, but the mom with the paranoia, or they got lost.
Mm-hmm.
But not finding the suitcase and not finding the gun is what throws a red flag to me about...
Right.
There was something going on within...
Oh, definitely.
The husband and wife.
Yeah, if they would have killed each other, one of them would have killed the other 2 and then themselves right there. You would have found casings. You would have found something.
That, and I feel like even if your remains are exposed, like, they would still see bullet holes in your
That's
skeleton.
what I feel too. Like, if it was a headshot
Unless,
wound,
like, some of the... But still, there was 3 of them. I don't know.
my thought is, like, if you get shot in this area, like you said, you're going to see the destruction in your bones. If you get shot in the head, you're obviously going to see the destruction in your skull.
Nearby.
Yeah. And I mean, they could have been shot and killed, and they could have been shot in an area where the weather elements decomposed the bone.
I hate things like this.
To where, like maybe the skulls got crushed in, where, they were shot at, or so they couldn't determine what the cause of death was.
Yeah.
And I mean, their winters get pretty, like, negative 15s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, 3 miles away from, like, that just fits more with me of, like, maybe they did get lost.
That's what I feel like with everything we're at now. That is a good speculation.
Or a serial killer.
Yeah, because that's always a good option, too.
With the gun missing, with the briefcase missing. I mean, those are obviously got to be around somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like a fucking thrill kill serial killer because he didn't go looking for the vehicle. He didn't fucking... He just did what he had to do, what he wanted to do, and took off.
Like the Most Dangerous Game.
Mm-hmm.
Just letting people out run wild so that you can hunt them down.
And it's just insane because you have a lot of evidence, but nothing really pointing to one true answer.
Right.
Especially if she's in a manic episode writing down random numbers in a unrecognizable pattern that looked like it only made sense to her.
Thinking that her husband's reading the Satanic Bible. Being
a religious woman. So, I mean, there's a lot adding on there. The stress of the religious aspect, the stress of the financial aspect, like...
Yes.
And if you ever notice, people who take religion to the extreme, they're usually the ones that make the worst mistakes.
Uh-huh.
Because they believe that they can just say a little hoo-ha before they die and that they're going to get welcomed in for eternity.
They'll be saved at the gates. It's like,
But Kurt Cobain once told me, where do bad folks go when they die?
Nobody knows.
He said they don't go to heaven where the angels fly.
Yeah. That was a cover.
Well, whoever did it originally, they knew something.
Well, it's kind of like people who sit there and say that somebody commits suicide is going to go to hell. You don't know that.
No.
You have no idea where that person's going. Mm-hmm. You have no idea, so you cannot sit there and say that that's where they're going.
The one thing I can tell you with 100% positivity is we're all going to find out the same time.
Yep. Now, if you're an animal abuser or a pedophile or a child killer, then yeah, I am going to assume you are going straight to hell because that's where you deserve to go.
What's weird, it says, when police checked the phone records of the mobile phone in the truck, they found it had made an outgoing call to voicemail on November 12th, though it would have been locked inside the abandoned truck.
But the doors weren't locked when they found it.
Says perhaps the Jamison family decided to go for a quick hike in the woods, lost their way, and died from hypothermia. Murder-suicide. Sherilynn was known to own a .22 caliber pistol that she carried with her in the truck. The coroner found a small hole. Says the coroner found a small hole in Bobby's skull that might have been from a bullet, but neither Sherilynn nor Madyson had any gunshot evidence. The gun has never been found, and if Sherilynn had used it to kill her family and then shoot herself, why hadn't the weapon been located?
Yeah, because that's the big mystery right there. If it was a shot to the, like, if one of them did it, there would be some kind of shell casing, some kind of weapon. It wouldn't just be gone.
My thing is, too, what if she did shoot, her daughter and her husband, but killed, committed suicide in a way that she could get rid of the gun?
Yeah. I mean, there's all these speculations,
And then committed suicide right next to her husband and her daughter.
Yeah, because with decomposition, you can't tell somebody was strangled.
Exactly.
You can't tell if someone was suffocated.
You don't know. Maybe she slit her throat and bled out and died.
Yeah, because you're not going to tell that from your fucking spine.
Maybe she slit her wrist and sat next to him and just bled to death.
And then it says the Jamisons were members of a satanic cult. Sherilynn's mother claims her daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter were on an Oklahoma cult hit list. That part of Oklahoma is known for that. Cults and stuff like that, from what I've been told. And from what I've read, I was told that she was in a cult's hit list. Connie didn't provide the name of the alleged cult, nor have police found any links to one.
Well, I could see that too, because some of those cults are extremely extreme. Like the one that's here in Festus.
Yeah. Drug deal went wrong. Bobby's dad killed the family. That's another theory. The family had filed a protective order against Bobby's dad, claiming that he had threatened to kill them over some business dealings. In the protective order filed in April 2009, Bobby alleged that his father had intentionally hit him with his car on November 1st, 2008, and that he was a very dangerous man. Before his death, Bob Dean had a long-running feud with his son. It came to legal action when Bobby accused his father of re-engaging on an agreement to give him half the proceeds from selling a gas station he owned. Bobby's father died 2 months after the family went missing in December 2009.
Of course. Another one where it could have been the Bobby's dad, and of course,
well, yeah,
no
being
justice.
And a white supremacist. Before the Jamisons,
white supremacist.
Before the Jamisons' disappearance, a handyman and family friend called Kenneth Bellows stayed with the family. In August 2009, upon finding out that Sherilynn had Native American heritage, Bellows' white supremacist leanings were uncovered.
Tootsie, you good over there?
And then there's a thing, family kidnapped by pedophiles. Perhaps the family was kidnapped so that the kidnapper or kidnappers could get to Madyson. When police examined Bobby's phone from the truck, they found a final picture of Madyson on the mountain. Friends and family believe Madyson's parents did not take it. In the picture, Madyson is looking away from the camera. She looks unhappy and has her arms crossed. If that had been Bobby or Sherilynn behind the camera, she would have not looked like that.
Well, that's a speculation
Witchcraft,
too.
possession. There's just so many theories. I don't know.
Well, you got all these people who do their little wiki and Google searches, and now they're like, oh, I know what happened.
I don't know.
No, you have a theory.
But I don't know.
We all have a theory.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to be solved.
Well, no, especially when they found their bodies, they were skeletons. Like, everything was, you cannot tell nothing at that point. You see holes, but who's to say that wasn't from weathering and conditioning? It hails in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
There's fucking hail big enough to crack somebody's dome.
Yep.
Day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad.
Giant ass hail coming from the sky.
It is, because that's one of those things, like I said, there's so much evidence, but nothing
and just some
leading
things
you
don't
to
make
one
sense,
direction.
Like the footage, or the security footage, and then her notes, the resentment,
especially with
the gun being missing, the cash being untouched in the car. I don't know.
And whatever security camera they used wasn't real-time capture. It was motion capture.
Right.
That's why they look so spotty. So,
True.
they're going to look mechanical.
Right.
So that doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't know.
And without audio, it's like you can only assume they weren't talking to each other.
Nope.
But then again, my volume is down, so I don't know. It probably has audio. I just didn't hear anything. More than a decade later, the Jamison family case remains unsolved.
and the Ouachita Mountains still hold the answers to a mystery that investigators were never able to explain.
The Jamison family left their home on October 8th, 2009, planning a simple trip into the mountains.
4 days later, their truck was found abandoned. Their phones, their wallet, $32,000 in cash, and their starving dog, still inside the vehicle.
4 years later, their remains were discovered in the woods, just 3 miles away.
Investigators were never able to determine how they died.
The brown suitcase Bobby carried into the mountains was never found, and the handgun investigators believed he brought with him has never been recovered.
And whatever happened to the Jamison family that day, the Ouachita Mountains are still keeping the answer. And that concludes this episode of Veil of Echoes. If this episode stayed with you, please take a moment to follow Veil of Echoes and leave us a rating or written review on Apple or Spotify. It helps independent podcasts like ours reach more listeners and keep stories like these from disappearing.
You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Veil of Echoes for episode clips, case files, and behind-the-scenes content.
On Friday, we traveled deep into the Sierra Nevada mountains, a remote wilderness where something strange was captured on tape.
In the 1970s, a group of hunters began hearing bizarre. Not talking about a bra.
Bizarre.
I haven't heard that in a while. My mom used to call them braziers.
All the time. I think that's the first time I ever heard it.
The only reason why I know that is because of the nanny.
That's so funny. You know, my mom would always call them braziers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she
that
always
and my
used fancy
85-year-old
terminology.
Yeah.
Like she say duvet. Like, don't, what the fuck?
It's a duvet cover.
Put it on the Davenport. What the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah.
In the 1970s, a group of hunters began hearing bizarre sounds echoing through the forest. Loud, unnatural, almost like language.
Then one night, they recorded it. Voices, echoing through the mountains. Sounds some researchers believe may belong to something not entirely human. The Sierra Sounds. Until next time, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.